Hey gals, guys and everyone else, welcome back to Armoured Brownies. I'm Hayze and this is our new baby. I've alluded to it a fair bit over the past few months and the past few vlogs, but it finally arrived, finally together. This is our new 3D printer. It is an E3D Bigbox, which means it has a huge printing area. And also it's a new model on the scene, so we're one of the first people to have it. And if you want an idea of its print area, basically as big as your head. Yeah. So it arrived in June. Whilst I was away at a festival, my partner spent 2 full days assembling. So about 24 hours in total. It came unassembled because we have the Duo model. Unlike the Pro, it doesn't come assembled. So after about 2 full days of assembling it, it was about a week worth of tuning and calibrating, and then about 2 weeks more worth of just fine detail, just getting everything just right to print out. You can see along here we have all of these benchies, all of these test pieces. Each one of these is actually a different filament that we have tried out through the printer to see how it prints. Most of these are actually, we've got a test filament. But of course, why do we have such a magnificent machine? Well, we have it for 3D printing cosplay props. I know everybody is sick of seeing 3D printed props because of course you just get people throwing money at buying a robot to make stuff for them, and then you have these things. But there's so much more to it, and I want to show you what we're going to be doing with it and what we've done with it so far. Some of the first just prop things that was produced is Mercy's pistol. This hasn't been mounted in it because I'm still finishing the model. You can see it looks shiny in places where we've put resin on it. It's been sanded down constantly, but it's a 3D printed prop from an artist online. I'll link below to where this model was found. This will be for my Mercy cosplay. Just a raw 3D print. Looks awful. But I've been going through on stream showing everybody how I would go about finishing, and do go about finishing, a 3D printed prop. So soon you'll see this and be the first part of my Mercy cosplay. Similarly, one of the great things about a 3D printer is the ability to iterate quickly. Like, I 3D modelled this myself. It is Junkrat's grenade for my female Junkrat costume. And this came out much too small. We had one which came out much too big, and then this one is my finished one. And as you can see, I've been finishing it off on the stream. It's got a lovely smooth texture to it. Now there's very few signs on it that it was 3D printed at all. And now I'll be silicone moulding this and casting myself multiple copies for my costume. So that's just one example of how a 3D printer is not just a thing that produces a finished prop. Something that the 3D printer is also invaluable for is producing things like these. These are 3D printed electronic cases for like really custom electronic-y things. These are the eyes that are going to go inside my Kindred costume. And if we open them up, you can see they have these rings of neopixels in them. It doesn't show up on my camera. I need to mess around with settings before I can show you, which means I get to keep it as a bit of a surprise for a future video, and you finally get to see these with these 3D printed diffusing housings mounted inside the mask. But also, the thing I am most proud of with the 3D printer is actually how I've been using it to hybridize mechanically perfect components, such as filters from Roadhog's mask, along with the eyes for Roadhog mask, but they're currently in the original sculpt, along with traditional sculpting. So I'll sculpt something in clay, but for example, the eyes want to be perfectly circular. These want to look like they've been mechanically produced. I can't really sculpt that in clay. So if I 3D print it, I can then cast them along with the sculpted clay, like all the smooth lines of the mask, which I think is just a fantastic way to approach these things and remove a lot of the human error you can get whilst trying to sculpt things that are supposed to look like they've been mechanically produced. And that will mean that I'm able to mount the lenses in the eyes with perfect clarity, rather than having to try and sculpt a perfect circle for the lenses to mount in. And that is some of the stuff we've been doing, building up to full utilisation of our new 3D printer. But if you're also interested in just other technical cosplay things, currently experimenting with running a mini smoke machine using vape parts and an Arduino, also building a Steven Universe gem destabilizer that can charge your mobile phone, and of course, all of our normal sculpting is still going on as usual on the channel. So if you're excited about any of this, please let me know. Remember to subscribe to the channel, give me hints, suggestions, anything you'd like to see, and most importantly, stick around and remain enthusiastic about all the crafting yourself, because that keeps me enthusiastic, and if I'm enthusiastic, I can keep making you enthusiastic, and that makes me enthusiastic, and we're some big enthusiasm, Ouroboros. Thank you and goodbye.